No. Hello,
Okay.
my name is host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People, and today we're going to talk about the enneagram tri-type called 541, or the researcher personality
Oh,
type. What does enneagram tri-type refer to? Well, for those of you who are new to enneagram theory suggests there are 9 personality types, basically, and that a individual person in the tri-type model has one of each of the 3 sections of the enneagram. Section 1 is the enneagram that deals with shame, and that is going to be a number 2, 3, or 4 that tells you how you deal with shame. The second section is the part that tells you how you deal with fear, or existential terror, you might say, and that's 7, 6, or 5. And the last section is how you deal with anger, and that's 8, 9, or 1. So basically, for somebody like me, I'm a 7, 8, 3. What that means is I deal with fear first as my dominant emotion. My dominant negative emotion that I got to respond to is fear more than shame or anger. And my response to fear is to ignore it and play the day away. And then in the second slot, I respond to conflict with anger rather than with trying to smooth things over or trying to fix the problem. And then in the last slot, I achieve as a way of dealing with shame rather than helping or being an iconoclast. So, as a 783, I'm known as the mover shaker personality type. But today, we're going to be analyzing the 541, or the researcher personality type. And this type is one who deals also first with fear as the dominant emotion that they are building their identity to resist or to avoid the consequences of. So we're talking about negative emotions. In this case, for a 5 type, like me as a 7 type, the deepest concerning emotion is going to be fear. Whoever is getting me a lot of Facebook notification sounds, can you please mute? I don't know who that is. The 5 way of dealing with fear is to try to understand things well enough that you have processed all the information so that it's no longer scary, that you clearly know how the system works, that what's going to happen, and you understand clearly enough. It's a way of deliberating and thinking about something and getting mastery of it. Whereas it's kind of the opposite of the 7 approach, which is to ignore it. The 6 approach is somewhere in between. It's to nest. But for the 5, as their first dominant function, if you have 5 first, what that means is that what that means if you have 5 first is that you are going to be spending a lot of time doing analysis. You want to make sure that things are consistent. You probably align with a TI if you're a 5 first. And in fact, if we look at Susie, who's a researcher type and who is INTP, she is, of course, TI first, and she's also 5. Now, say you have 4 in the second slot means you fundamentally want to go your own way. If just thinking about it doesn't work for you, then you're going to go the individualist way. You're gonna say, well, this is who I am, and fuck you and your expectations, and fuck you and your rules and whatever, because I'm an iconoclast, and I define myself as such. Therefore, I am immune to your shamings. My iconoclasm makes me immune to your shamings. I think that the second 2 numbers in a tri-type change over the course of your life. I think I used to be a 4 and moved into a 3. Been a 7 and an 8. But I think for a while I expressed as a 6 because I was drunk all the time. I think for a 541, there's a decent chance that like the 784 might move into a 783, or a 748 might move into a 738, because 4 tends to move to 3 as you get older and you want to attain more concrete results. But as the researcher type of the 541, they're still in a period of their life where they don't feel any need to prove anything except establish themselves as distinct and not subject to standard rules and expectations. This is part of the research that correlates well with 5, because 5's about, let's follow the truth, let's follow the research, let's follow the data, and not worry about how it's going to play. So it's a very FE rejecting combo, 5-4, and it means that you're not going to be doing a lot of making sure that everybody's happy and taking care of people's perceptions, because you think that everybody's perception should align with the data because you're a researcher. Now, in the last slot, she's got 1, which is a perfectionist thing, which means she's a perfectionist when it comes to conflict. That is to say, she doesn't like to participate in conflict for its own sake. It ought to be, she sees it as having a fundamental purpose of resolving matters once and for all. She doesn't like it when I go back and forth and change positions and stuff like that. No matter how much explanation I may have that it actually makes perfect sense if you look at it on the next meta level up and stuff, she's just not having it. She's annoyed by it. She's like, fucking pick a position and stick with it, for Christ's sakes. Because she wants that shit to resolve. My point is, the discursive effort is itself. The means is the end. And that's where the ENTP and INTP come into conflict, and it shows why she's a 1 and I'm a 3, is that I don't actually care. Well, I'm an 8, so it's like I don't care. The conflict in and of itself good, and if it does anything great or not. If it does do something, then it's going to be filtered through some sort of a TE kind of ultimate framework. Like, well, does it generate some views? It's good enough. Whereas Susie is just going to shake her head and go, you fucking intellectually dishonest motherfucker. That's because she doesn't get how super, super meta I am. Any other thoughts on your tri-type, Susie? Your 541 tri-type? Did I get it right?
Super meta you are. And you assume that other people will understand the meta.
Other people's understanding has nothing to do with whether or not I'm right. If there's one tri-type that's going to agree with that, it's 541. Let's see what this says here. Somebody asked me a question of some sort. Can you use the mic? Eric can type you. Oh, that's not directed at me. Okay, so anyway, that then is going to about sum up the 541. Researchers, you guys are awesome. You and I get along very well. I appreciate your hard-nosed data focus, and I'm sure I frustrate the living hell out of you sometimes with my squishiness and my shiftiness. My shiftiness, it's called. You guys are stealthy. We're shifty. That's the difference between INTPs and ANTPs. INTPs are stealthy. ANTPs are shifty. Thanks for watching Talk with Faith People. And do not forget to eat plenty of cheese for the love of God.